about the excitement for your ball club and for this fan base for this game?
Yeah, I mean, you work really hard to get to this point, but I think you have to focus on keeping the main thing the main thing. It was good to move on, but you got to put that in the past really quick and get to the preparation on this week's opponent, which number one seed, they won the East. They beat us twice. They got 8 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pros. I think they can get your attention real quick, so we got a lot of work to do.
When you play a team twice in 3 weeks like you did against Washington, is there anything you could take from that approach upcoming for this weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty much what I talked about last week. It's, Washington, we played each other pretty quickly. Minnesota, I think December 4th, we played 4 teams. We played Washington, Philly, Minnesota, and the Colts, I think. So, we've had some pretty time that's close between each opponent. So, again, you watch the games, you do everything you did, that you do each week to prepare for a team.
It was pretty obvious, though, when you played the Eagles the last time. They were using Hurts differently. They weren't going to use him on design runs. How much do you expect a different version of him this time around?
I think you got to go through all the tape from the entire year this time of year and, plan for everything. Again, there's only 65 to 75 plays this time of year, and you got to make sure that you're trying to give your players everything you can in terms of the preparation process of it. What they do or not do, you never know going into a game, so it'll be the standard procedure that we usually do.
Do you expect them to run him more, or him to be able to run more than he did in that game?
I don't know. I think you got to prepare for everything. Dynamic player. I've said this before. You throw it, you pass it. That's why he's up there for MVP, and got a big challenge ahead.
Because of the circumstances in the last time you were there, who you played, who didn't play, is there still things that you were able to gain that day as a team, whether it's schematically or even your guys watching and breaking down that film, that helps you now that you'll have a lot of players who weren't on the field that day?
Yeah, absolutely. We put together a plan we thought was going to work, like we do every week. So again, when you have 2 games to look at, you really study those games. But you're studying every game they've played. You got to have your best this week.
Dave, what do you make of the Eagles' front on defense?
They're really good. They're hard to block. They can stop the run. They got a lot of really good players. They use them well. They're a challenge to block. On the perimeter, they're a challenge for the tackles, and inside, they're a challenge. So, that's where, like I talked about before, the offensive line, the defensive line, that's where usually the game starts, and they're, pretty much all pro or Pro Bowl at every spot.
If it's hostile in other places you've been this year, how would you describe the atmosphere in Philly you're expecting on Saturday night?
Yeah, hostile. I don't have good adjectives for that one other than...
It's all right. I can find it.
Okay.
Is there any extra motivation you guys can pull from the first meeting with Philadelphia and how it got a little lopsided?
No, every game's different in this league. Every time you play a team, whether it's the second time, third team, it's all different. What matters most is our process leading up to it and then how we play.
Brian, there were 2 different results from those games against the Eagles and obviously 2 different personnels on the field. Do you still view both games equally in terms of reviewing the film, knowing your starters played more in the first matchup?
No, there weren't 2 different results. There was one, right? We lost both of them. So, we went out there and competed. Got outplayed, got outcoached by a really good team. That's why they had a bye week.
Do the Eagles do anything unique in the way that they rush, or is it basically like these are our guys, we know how good they are, and go get the quarterback?
Pretty much. I mean, they have good players all across the board, so their coaches let those guys rush. They run some twist games, they pressure, but really they have good players, so they're good players eat.
You're one of the few starters who played in that finale. Did that path benefit you think going into this game? Do you think it was good that you got those reps against these guys?
Yeah, man. That's just more reps, add the more experience, the more snaps that I get, So, yeah, I feel like it definitely, helped me out for sure.
Particularly against these guys, that, you saw Reddick, do you think that it helped to learn something from seeing him again?
Yeah, the more snaps that he rushed against me was a better opportunity for me to understand how he rushes and how he's going to, approach going against me, for sure.
Evan, I don't know how many Eagles games you would have watched when you were young, but if you were watching, Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox were probably on those games, and they're still out there now. Does their longevity, strike you at all? And did you watch them?
Yeah, I knew who Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox was as a kid, and playing against those guys, I mean, it's cool. I mean, the NFL is what it's all about, and their longevity is a testament to them being a pro, taking care of their bodies, and doing the right thing, so that way they can make it that far in their career.
How eager are you to show people, show your teammates that the performance that you had against these guys the first time, the pressures, that's not you? You're capable of going out there and even as a rookie playing really well against some of the best pass rushers in the league.
I'm here to go out there and compete, man, and give everything I have, empty everything I have in the tank. And at the end of the game, whatever the outcomes is, I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and know I gave it my all. And yeah.
One thing a lot of your teammates say is these Philly front line, they talk a lot. What do you like on the field? Do you talk?
Not really, man. I like to play ball. Talking takes a lot of energy. So a lot of times on the field, man, you're gasping for air as it is as a big guy, offensive lineman, man. You 19, 20 play drive. The last thing I'm going to want to do is talk trash, man. That's valuable air I could be breathing.
So how do you take it though when you go against like Brandon Graham? People say he just talks the whole game.
I mean, if he's talking, man, I just kind of just let him do what he does, man. I'm not going to change the way that I play whenever the whistle snaps.
Do you guys have a couple more?
Do you guys harbor any feelings from that first matchup? Because they did put a decent amount of points on the board. They took care of business. I mean, as a player, do you look at that scoreboard and say, we want another shot at these guys?
I mean, obviously, I believe that we can go out there and put together a better game than we did the first game. But I believe we're a different team than we were the first time we played those guys. I feel like we're peaking as a team. We're coming together at the right moments. And on Saturday, we're going to go out there and see what happens.
Dexter, to get another shot at the Eagles, how much you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to the battle. Third time, just trying to come out with a different result this time.
Do you look at New York and Philadelphia grit, both teams with that kind of mindset?
For sure. Both prideful places, and I know their fans gonna be out there, and I hope we travel well.
How do you describe that environment?
Like you said, gritty. Hard nosed. I told my mom she can't come to the games because she'll go back at them. But it should be fun, and I'm excited.
But what makes their offensive line a challenge to deal with?
They're some big dudes, and physical. They got a good leader in Kelsey, and we helped them learn a lot, and they can latch on to you pretty good.
When you look back at the film from that first matchup, the 48-22 loss, what was the biggest thing that stood out to you with the defensive mistakes?
We didn't play well, and they attacked us. They did a good job at that, and we just had to play well and make less mistakes to be able to compete.
How much do you think the D has grown since that first matchup?
I think we've grown a lot. We grew together, didn't apart during that time, and I think that kind of shows in the play. So, we just keep that confidence and that want to be there for each other and play for each other and be good.
Are you looking back at all like, hey, we got here, or are you looking ahead to what else we can do?
I think it's just ahead right now. This is a new season. We 1-0 right now, and the Eagles in our way right now.
You mentioned Kelsey, Dex. He's not the biggest guy, but he's able to get his job done for the Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. How is he able to play so well, even though he's a little undersized for the position?
He's little and he's scrappy. Like he know how to get his bodies in good positions. He know how to manipulate D linemen. And the guards do a good job, pounding down and helping when he needs it.
This rivalry is always intense. Now you add the playoffs to it. What does that do with the intensity of this game?
I think it's always an intense physical game, and I'm excited for that. I like those type of battles. Just a little more in stake now, and winner wins all, and loser go home.
Why do you like those battles? What is it about?
Just in having a battling somebody. What do you mean by that?
Well, does it ratchet up to do something inside you?
I think it's probably just a pride thing. It's more like, okay, you're going against a great guy. You want to beat him more than he beats you, type of thing.
when you have a mobile quarterback like Jalen, is there anything from the attack point that you have to be more cognizant of because he can slip out?
Yeah, it's more just being disciplined. If that's in your rush lanes or if that's in your run lanes, you just gotta be more disciplined with a guy like that, a dual threat guy, and plan on doing a better job at that.
Is Philadelphia any more hostile to play in than other road cities?
I mean, it's a divisional game. I think that brings some intensity to it, and yeah, I mean, they're known for having a good crowd that supports their team, and yeah, so we're prepared for it. We've played there before.
What makes it so difficult? I mean, I know you only actually started there once, I believe, but as an organization, you guys haven't won there since 2013.
Yeah, I mean, I think every game's different. I think we'll approach this like we would any other game, but they're a good team. It's a good environment. They bring a lot of energy. Fans are passionate, but like any road game, we'll prepare for that and be able to handle that as part of the game.
How much have you grown as a quarterback since that first matchup in Week 14 against the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've gotten better every week. So, go back and look at what we did well, what we didn't do as well, and see where we can improve, find a way to make some more plays.
Eagles have, I think, 70 sacks. What, aside from that number, what makes their front and their pass rush so challenging to deal with?
They've got good players. And know how to get to the quarterback. So we'll have a plan for those guys, and we got a lot of confidence in our guys up front. They've played really well the whole year, and they'll be ready to go.
How would you describe playing in Philadelphia?
Playing in Philadelphia, electric. Their fans are very passionate. They're very into it. The team feeds off the crowd. It's a city that loves their football team for sure.
What did you learn the first couple of times you played the Eagles that you think can help you in this matchup?
I mean, a lot of things. They're a talented team with a lot of superstars on their roster, both sides of the ball and special teams. And so we learned a lot about them. They learned a lot about us. And so, their time go around with them. And so, this is gonna be a battle.
How helpful is it to have the secondary fully healthy, especially going up against their wide receivers?
It's great. We have battled. We rode the roller coaster all year long with guys up, guys down. Obviously, you want your ones or whatever ready to go, and it's exciting that we have that right now. And I think this past week showed you though that whoever's in there needs to be able to perform and make plays. Dane Belton hopped in there this past game and did well. Flott came in there first play, made a play, and so that is a mindset we got to have no matter who's out there.
It seems like this defense is starting to turn the corner. At least the last few weeks, you held the Vikings to 61 yards rushing. Just talk about the difference with the defense recently, in your estimation.
Yeah, I think we play a good brand of football. It's our brand. We're successful in certain situations. We're a pretty stout situational team, and we have to be that versus the Eagles. They're a team who's also really good at situationally, whether it's third down, red zone, 2 minute. They play at a high level, and that's why they were the first seed in the NFC. And so we got to be clean. We got to continue to be who we are and play our brand of ball. Because our best is needed. Against the quote unquote best team.
When you play your brand, you got to have confidence, right? So, what is the confidence level of this team right now? We're kind of here. We see you at the podium, but we don't know what's out here.
Yeah, I mean, we're all grown men in this locker room. There is no sense of fear or no sense of lack of confidence, no matter who we're playing. I think our first job is to be at our best. Execute how we want to execute. They got really good players on the other side of the ball, no matter who we're playing. But the goal, week in and week out, is to make sure you got your stuff handled. Philly has some stars, like I said, on their team, and they're going to make plays, quite frankly. But we have to make more plays and have that confidence and that mental focus to reset after each play.
It's a great rivalry. Now you add the playoff twist to it. How big of a twist is that?
I mean, it definitely heightens it when you look at all division games in general. It's pretty heated. The games are good battles, and so the hype will be there. It's a night game. Like I said, Philly fans will be really excited. They're a good fan base, and we got to be prepared mentally, physically. for a full 60-minute battle.
Julie, how much more discipline is required when you have a quarterback like Hurts that can make off-script throws?
Yeah, he's a challenge to play against. He's been playing at a super high level this year because of his arm, his legs. He has really elevated his game, and we have to just try to play him as best as we can because he's a lot of tools in his bag. He's a lot of weapons around him, and so he's posed a threat or a problem to everybody he's played this year. Obviously, we got a chance to see him twice this year, and we got to have a good game plan going into this thing and just be ready to play him.
Is his ability to run kind of the linchpin that ties their offense together, whether it's the design stuff or the scrambling?
It for sure opens up a lot of things. I think when you look at across the league, guys who can run the ball at a high level, he has to be up there with the top quarterbacks right now. He's efficient, and his ability to run the ball, to scramble, opens up a lot of things for their offense. The pass game, for the running back, it opens up the holes for him. It's just that's how they get going, and they're doing it at a very high rate right now. So it's a problem. It's no secret to anybody. It's a problem because of who's at quarterback for them. He's a good player.
About Philly that is challenging to you?
Yeah, I mean, number one opponent in our division. They've done a great job. Obviously, their front is really good. I think they have something like 70 sacks or something like that. So definitely a tough opponent, but we're getting prepared for them.
What makes Hassan so deadly as a pass rusher?
I think he has a good ability to change his rushes. A lot of guys have like one or two go-to moves, but you can tell he studies the tackles and he has different go-to moves depending on who it is.
Got a few games in Philly that you say is probably top 3 for hostile environments on the road.
No, definitely. I mean, their crowd is brutal, and then it helps when their team is as good as they are. So we're looking forward to it. It's nothing but us against the world. So that's the mentality that we have.
Does Philly, do you expect them to move their guys a lot, or do you expect to see most of the same guy across from you?
They do a good job of switching it up. So I think Joshua will be back this game, so I'll probably see him most of the time. And then Brandon Graham rotates a lot more both sides.
What's allowed Brandon Graham to maintain his level of play for so many years? What does he do that makes him so good for so long?
No, it's crazy. It's like he got the fountain of youth or something. I think this is like one of his best seasons ever. He does a good job. He has really good power. Does a good job of switching that up too. Bull swim, things like that. Great rusher for them.
Do you find guys